Hello, sausage. Long time no see. Welcome back to Grand Prix World. It has been absolutely ages. I have missed this. I've missed you guys. I apologise for the length of my absence. There's been lots of reasons, health and professional reasons, and all kinds of things. We're also about to see a big rebrand, relaunch on the channel. I've been threatening to do this for a while, so you're going to see some changes, but that is all inconsequential because we are here for some F1 fun times. We are mid-season 2006, which means we have a season and a half left to run, and then unfortunately this playthrough will be over. Pedro Diniz is leaving the team because I am a moron, and we're in a position now where we're actually starting to lose money on a per round basis because our spending has got a little bit out of control, mainly on infrastructure costs, actually, the cost of running the factory and paying the staff, which is always one of those late game pitfalls in this game that you've really got to pay attention to. I'm just going to skip through all the menus here because I have no idea where we left off last time. I don't know if we're ready for the next race or not. It doesn't look like we are. Have we run testing? We have not. The engine is basically finished. The tyres are basically finished, and the fuels are basically finished. So I guess actually we're probably not worrying too much about testing right now. We had 15% of our mechanics on fuel testing. That seems an odd decision. I wonder what me in the past was doing. Where are we on design? Okay, so we have some servo brakes ready for homologation. Technology isn't looking so sexy. We have no updates in progress, and next year's car is almost finished. Okay, so now we know where we're at. I know we need to do some development testing, for sure. For show. We're trying to control the cost of our test program. I think we might need to spend a little bit here, actually, to make sure we get some meaningful test data out. I'm not going to do any forcing or tyre testing right now. $201,000 will go into this particular round of testing. I mean, we need... I'm still going to do a little fuel testing just to get that final point in, and then we can forget about it completely. I think that looks like a pretty good blend. How did we do? Yeah, that's not too bad. We've got 1 point. That equates to 1 point spent on the engine. Fuel, we've had better days, but the main thing was to get the next version of our, or the next update for our car into production. I'm going to stop developing driver aids simply because I think we're reaching the end of the road with those, and I really do want to start improving our technology ahead of next season. Well, it wouldn't be Grand Prix World without the obligatory crash, would it? In terms of technology, I really want to start making improvements here ahead of next year. Reliability or performance? That's a good question. I know none of you asked it, but I'm asking it of myself. I'm going to go ahead actually and improve clutch performance, I think. We'll stick 20% on that, and we will continue to develop driver aids. Let's see what the FAA says of these servo brakes. Yeah, I do think we've reached the limit there. For now, we probably need a better designer to get more out, but regardless, we will continue to press on. I mean, we won't stay on top of our game if we don't keep pushing the developmental curve, will we? Let's get some spare parts built, and then we can get on the road in Montreal. Now, I don't think we're necessarily under huge threat generally, as I recall. It's more next season that I'm starting to worry about, particularly financially. We don't have any shares really left to sell in the team. That means we're going to have to cover our costs another way. as I recall, we've solved the driver. Yeah, we've got Shinji Nakano coming in next year, but he doesn't bring in anywhere near the level of money of Pedro Diniz. Alexander Wurz enters his final season next season. I'm wondering if we can't get another pay driver in to partner him, and we'll just rely on the engineering of the car. We will see. I don't really want to be hiring more guys, but there are some high-level dudes available. Let's see how we're doing on sponsors right now. Midpoint of the season, we've covered 80% of the car. We have 4 cash sponsor slots left. And we're still trying to get as much as possible out of all these guys. Who are we talking to? We're talking to Castrol. That's good. Can we talk to some others? Because I really want to get them on board. I'm going to reduce you to 10%. At least we've got a good cash sponsor, title sponsor for next year. We'll leave 5% here trying to get a guarantee on that deal. That means we've got 25% to play with, and we really want to be going after the big boys. So I'm gonna start bringing Danker along, and it's Goodyear we need a guarantee from, right? So yeah, I'm not going to bring them along. I'm not going to bring Ford along either, and we're going to bring Danker and Castrol are talking to somebody else. Shit, how close are we to a deal with them? This is risky. I'm going to play the success card and hope that we can tie up a deal before someone else does. And I've got the TV advantage card to play on the Danker deal and see if we can't get that squared away nicely. I really need to fill those sponsor slots. If we're losing Diniz in particular, we really need to get that done. Investing cash doesn't really make sense. We don't have anywhere near enough money, and we are losing on a per race basis, so that's not good. Do we have all the department heads in place? Yes, we do, but a lot of them are tied quite closely to Diniz, so we're going to see a performance drop in general anyway. Nevertheless, let us repair all the cars, and we will go about our business. Later today, I am hoping to get some Motorsport Manager recorded as well. Those episodes take quite a bit longer, and trying to squeeze them in at the moment with my schedule is proving difficult, but I'm hoping to have some time freed up in the next few weeks, and then we should be able to get back to a sort of a semi-regular. What the hell have I done here? Ah, that's right. So we want an improvement, and we will go for heat management. Don't have anything to spend on tyres or fuels, and that means we just have to set up the cars and go. All our drivers are sorted. Patterson's in his final year on his testing contract, but let's be honest, we can pick up anyone we want for that, so I'm not going to rush to solve that problem. And what we really need is some on-track success to help us renew that success advantage card and start tying up some more cash. Right, I'm going to evenly divide the points here between Diniz and Wurz. Currently Diniz leads the championship, which makes me happy, but it doesn't hurt at all to have a bit of competition between our drivers. We don't have a new spec of anything, I don't think. No, I was wrong. We have new fuels at least. Yeah, that's a general evolution of engine, so no worries there. So we just have a new fuel for this Grand Prix, and no new driver aids because they were not approved by Charlie Whiting and his very discerning buddies. Alright then, for the first time in months, Let's punch it. Okay, 23 degrees and dry for your qualifying session. Let's see if we've improved our qualifying performance at all. No. Eddie Irvine taking pole there for McLaren on a 1:18.274. Giancarlo Fisichella second for Ferrari, 1:18.343. Mika Hakkinen lines up third for McLaren, 1:18.387. And then the first of our cars, Pedro Diniz leading Alexander Wurz, both in the 1:18s, although 3/10 off the back of Hakkinen, and there's a tenth and change between our two drivers. Although we have beaten David Coulthard's Ferrari, we continue to be the top performing Goodyear team. It does seem this year that Bridgestone are the tyres to have, but I'm sure we'll get round it. And again, our race pace does tend to be a little bit stronger than our quali pace. 26 degrees, so a 3-degree temperature increase for the race, and we're pretty much guaranteed a dry race. That means we need to make sure that the tyres are right. It looks like the hard tyres are the ones to be on, actually, because Deniz managed to out-qualify Wurz handily, and he'll have to pit less. So, let's get fresh boots on Wurz at every stage, and Deniz will be running a 35-34 split on the harder compound. He should walk this compared to Wurz, so by accident we have actually favoured him, but who cares? Look at his cheeky face, and he's on his last season with us. We should give him a farewell title. Oh wow, double DNF, that's not good. Both with engine failure. That was painful. Eddie Irvine leads from pole to finish, 1:33.48034 race time, which is pretty handy. Noticeably down the road from Giancarlo Fisichella, who leads a Ferrari 2-3. Juan Pablo Montoya and his magnificent Jordan took fourth. Ricardo Rossi in the points for Williams, and the final points paying position goes to Johnny Herbert in the second Jordan. So double points finish for Jordan and Ferrari there. In the Drivers' Championship, Pedro Diniz leads Eddie Irvine by a single point, who now has split the teammates. Alexander Wurz trails on 28 points. We continue to lead the constructors, though our gap has been significantly narrowed, 66 points ahead of McLaren in second on 51. Ugh, that was grim. We turned a profit that Grand Prix though, for the first time in a while, so that makes me feel a little bit better about the situation. Although we will have a lot of damage to control. Let's see first of all if something's gone wrong with the Castrol deal. It has not. Let's sign that up straight away. And I'm going to concentrate. Rather than getting bonuses, particularly on a one-season deal, I'm going to try and hoover up some more of the big boys. So let's get HSBC on the blower. Danker offering a 2-season deal. We're going to use the TV Advantage card, and we're going to, excuse me, we're going to invite HSBC to our next party. Okay, so feeling a bit happier with that. No guarantee yet from Goodyear, which we do need to get before the end of the season, but that's okay. And we're still working on the Murano deal as well, trying to get them to commit fully to the team. I mean, they're the ones that are majority underwriting next season, but we want to make sure that that money is guaranteed. It's not going to fluctuate based on any dip in performance we might experience. 2007 car is... oh shit, it doesn't comply with the regulations. Oh, it's going to be a close one. I'm going to have to prioritise next year's car. I didn't realise that. I wonder if that was like that before I went to the race. I'm going to move down to 10% on technology, and we're going to really have to work our balls off here. We're going to be on Forschung testing as well to try and close the gap in development. There we go. Stage 1 of the C-Spec car is ready. We'll move on to the CFD simulation phase. We've also got a technology upgrade to deploy. That is happy times for all. Let's improve hydraulic performance. Obviously we may have some latent reliability problems that are beginning to show, but I'd rather come into next season with a fundamentally good car that's unreliable and work on the reliability than try and close a performance deficit. Really upset about the car being disallowed. That is super uncool. Our new spec of engine has arrived. Testing is still going to be subject to cost control. So I'm going to Fortune testing has actually become quite important. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to again aim for spending around 200,000 on testing. And we will prioritize Fortune a little. Does everything look good there? Okay, maybe we can close that final. Yeah. So we can finally finish engine development completely. That is good. And that has kick-started our 2007 car development. It should also, anything else we were working on, should also have got a little boost. That makes me a little bit happier. Yeah, everything's looking good. So now we just need to finish development on our Evolution 9 engine, which will complete engine development on our Ford unit for 2006. There will be no more testing. That makes me happy also. Just a shame we messed up in the race, huh? We sorted sponsors, so we sorted testing. We just need to repair the cars, replace the spare parts, and then we can do some racing in La France. Now, next season, depending on how our costs develop, we will, in general, lose staff between seasons. So it could be that if perhaps we are earning less money, and we almost certainly will be because of the loss of the NIS, it could be that we actually recoup some costs through attrition, through staff just changing jobs in the off-season or walking away or whatever that is they do. The aim then will be, again, like the early part of this playthrough, looking at efficiency, because even top teams have to be extra efficient. It is always possible to spend the money one way or another. You won't always be profitable. And I think that will be a good way to wrap up the playthrough, actually. Just our last two seasons back, looking at cost control and trying to stay on top in a changing environment. We have a fan club agreement signed. That's good. That means we've got another 10% to deploy, talking to other people. I will put them into HSBC, actually. See if we can't get that going. All the cars are repaired, they're upgraded, they've got the new tech upgrade on there as well, so they should perform a little bit better. I don't think that will make an overall large difference, but it will make a difference, and it all adds up. We just need now to hope that whatever caused our engine failures in Canada does not rear its ugly mush again, and that we can get to the end, ideally double podium in France, and get the cushion back that we once had in the Constructors' Championship. We really do want to get that prize money. I think we're all done and dusted, and it's just a case of setup again. I'm going to leave the drivers on the same level of aggression, and if we have a double DNF again, then we know that we've got to turn something down. I'm going to set the cars up again identically, except for the tyres. I think the split strategy has tended to serve us well down the years, and because we are locked into whichever compound we pick, I don't see why you wouldn't split your strategy, really. It's a new engine that we've got this time, so let's deal with that. I bet you thought I had missed that then, didn't you? I do like to scare you every now and then. Okay, so we're in the land of the baguette and the smelly cheese and the good wine and the rundown race circuit. 25 degrees and dry for quali in France. I'm not expecting any miracles, and I didn't get any. Eddie Irvine takes another pole for McLaren 1:15.586. A good 400ths of a second ahead of Mika Hakkinen, his teammate, which is a pretty close gap between teammates. McLaren will be pleased. Not far down the road, David Coulthard lines up third for Ferrari. Again, Pedro Diniz outqualifies Alexander Wurz. This time, our cars have been split by Giancarlo Fisichella and his magnificent Ferrari. It seems again like there's a 2/10 advantage roughly in being on the harder compound tyre, so Wurz is in for a long weekend. 22 degrees and dry. We've got a slightly cooler race than last time out, so if it was a heat problem last time, which I suspect it was not, but let's, flight of fancy, let's say it was, we shouldn't have the same problem, one would hope. Now again, it will be a double stop for old Alex, and it will be a single stop. 36-35 split this time, if my maths is up to scratch, for our old mate Pedro. Right then, fingers crossed, toes crossed, eyes crossed. Let's do it. Something's happened. We got a win at least. Surprisingly, Alexander Wurz takes the win, 1:35.07.939. That's a pretty hefty gap back to Mika Hakkinen, who takes second. The podium is rounded off by David Coulthard and his Ferrari. Eddie Irvine drops from first to fourth in the course of that race. I don't know if he was on a bad strategy, but that's not particularly good for him. Giancarlo Fisichella remains ahead of Pedro Diniz to take fifth, and Pedro takes the final points paying position. This should now mean that we have a new leader, which, if I'm right, will be Eddie Irvine. Yes, it is. Eddie Irvine leads the Drivers' Championship on 40 points. Pedro Diniz in second on 39, and Alexander Wurz has closed the gap to his teammate to a single point. He's third on 38. And we have extended our lead at the top of the Constructors' Championship. We're now 17 points clear of McLaren, but that is such a narrow gap compared to what we've seen in previous years that I'm still not feeling hugely confident. And that if our apparent slide in performance continues, we may very well lose one or both of the championships this year, which will at least spice things up a little bit, won't it? We're at our homegrown Prix next time out, which I hope you will join me for. The next episode should be with you very, very soon, actually, and I'm going to be recording this weekend too. I hope you guys are well. As you can probably hear from my voice and the fact that I've been a bit scatterbrained, I have a million things to do today, but it is so good to be back. And I hope you will join me for the next episode. You guys take it easy, and I will catch you again probably tomorrow. Bye-bye.